Tonight is not a normal night. This is a call to war. And the fact that you are here right now, it's not an accident. There is a spiritual battle unfolding behind the scenes of your life, and heaven has decided it's time to expose what has been hidden. The prophetic combination of Psalm 35 plus Psalm 64 is not just ancient poetry. These are spiritual weapons. Codes of warfare designed to unmask secret enemies, interrupt hidden attacks, and release the justice of God over your destiny. And tonight, you will activate these weapons. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever felt that some battles you face don't make sense? People switch up on you suddenly. Doors that were opening start closing again. Your energy drains for no reason. Your thoughts get attacked. You feel pressure, confusion, delay, and you don't even know where it's coming from. Deep down, you can feel it. Someone or something is working in the dark. Psalm 64 describes exactly this kind of warfare. They sharpen their tongues like swords and shoot bitter words like arrows. That is psychological attack, emotional attack, spiritual attack. Psalm 35 is different. It is heaven's response. It is when God rises and says, enough. And tonight in this video, you will understand how these two psalms connect to destroy hidden works, cut spiritual interference, and unleash divine justice over everything that concerns you. Picture this. It's like a bright, blinding light is being turned on behind your life, revealing schemes, conversations, intentions, and attacks that were operating in the shadows. That light is what happens when you pray Psalm 35 plus Psalm 64 together. Now, listen closely. There are people who smiled at you while secretly hoping for your downfall. People who watched you rise and decided to sabotage you. Words released against your name, your family, your future. Evil whispers, spiritual traps, invisible roadblocks. But tonight, that ends. These two psalms activate something I call the divine shield of exposure. Exposure of fake friendships, exposure of hidden jealousy, exposure of spiritual sabotage, exposure of people slowing you down on purpose, exposure of conversations done behind your back, exposure of attacks you never saw coming. God saw it all. He heard conversations you never heard. He witnessed intentions you never perceived. He felt arrows you didn't feel, and he brought you here because the time to overturn this battle has come. Psalm 35 says, "Contend, Lord, with those who contend with me." That means God is not asking you to fight alone. He steps onto the battlefield. He takes up the sword. He confuses wicked plans. He destroys traps. He crushes forces that were draining your spirit. Psalm 64 goes even deeper. But God will shoot them with his arrow. Suddenly, they will be struck down. This is God saying, the ones who attacked you without warning will be stopped without warning. This is not human revenge. It is divine justice. And when divine justice enters the battle, nothing stays hidden. Nothing stays unchallenged. Nothing stays the same. Let me ask you something direct. Are you ready for God to expose what needs to be exposed and break what needs to be broken? Because when God begins to move, there is no going back. Deliverance becomes real. Breakthrough becomes real. Justice becomes real. As you're listening to this message, something is already happening in the spiritual realm. Attacks are being dismantled. Envy is being broken. Secret plans are collapsing. Dark environments are being cleared. People who were blocking your progress are losing influence. And doors that belong to you are beginning to open with power. The war has started, but you are not fighting alone. Now I want you to write this in the comments. This is not just engagement. This is a prophetic declaration. Lord, expose every secret enemy and release your justice over my life. Type it as a decree. Each time you declare it, you weaken the attack and strengthen your spiritual covering. And before we move to the next block, I need you to do something simple but important. If this word is already stirring something in your spirit, like this video right now, This helps this prayer of warfare reach more people who are fighting silent battles tonight. And subscribe to Guided by Psalms so you don't stand alone in this war. There are battles you can see, and there are battles you can only feel. Tonight, we're dealing with the battles you feel, the ones that move in silence, hide in shadows, and wait for the right moment to strike. Because this is exactly where Psalm 35 plus Psalm 64 shine the brightest. They expose what the enemy hoped you would never notice. Let me talk to you straight. There are traps that were set for you, traps you don't know about, conversations you were never meant to hear, plans designed to drain your strength, discourage your progress, delay your calling, weaken your faith, and disconnect you from the things God already prepared for you. But here's the truth the enemy doesn't want you to know. No trap can survive when God steps in. Psalm 35 says, "Let the net they hid for me catch them. Let them fall into the pit they dug." Do you understand the depth of that? It means the enemy becomes a victim of his own plan. Every scheme flips back on the one who created it. Psalm 64 continues this same pattern, but God himself shoots them with his arrows. Suddenly, they are struck down. It doesn't say you strike them. It doesn't say you expose them. It says God does it, suddenly. That means the attack ends as fast as it started. Some of the pressure you've been feeling lately isn't emotional, it's spiritual. The sudden confusion, the heaviness that comes out of nowhere, the strange resistance whenever you try to move forward, the unexpected discouragement when you were finally getting momentum. You're not imagining it, you're sensing warfare. But listen carefully, every time you pray Psalm 35 and Psalm 64, you activate what I call heaven's counterattack protocol. Here's what that means in simple words. The enemy fired first, but God fires last. And God's aim is perfect. Think about how arrows work. They don't need to be loud. They don't need to be seen. They just need to be precise. That is exactly how divine justice shows up in your life. Quietly, suddenly, with accuracy, and without warning. Let me show you how this works spiritually. 1. The enemy identifies a weakness. He watches where you're tired, where you're stressed, where you're wounded, where you're vulnerable. 2. He plans a strike. People talk behind your back. Opportunities close. Relationships shift. Doubt increases. Fear whispers. 3. You feel the impact but not the source, so you think it's just life, or bad luck, or your fault. 4. You pray Psalm 35 plus 64, and suddenly the whole atmosphere changes. Something breaks, something lifts, something gets exposed, something turns around. This is not coincidence, this is God intervening. Because Psalm 64 says that when God shoots his arrow, they stumble and turn against themselves. Let that sink in. The same forces that worked against you start working against each other. Confusion hits the enemy's camp. Whispers turn into silence. Plots fall apart. Jealousy backfires. Intentions get revealed. Masks break. Influences collapse. This is divine justice in motion. Let me tell you something prophetic. You have survived attacks that would have killed someone with less calling. You have walked through storms that were designed to break you. You have resisted pressure that was meant to crush your spirit. But you didn't break. You didn't fold. You didn't quit. And because you stayed standing, God is about to respond. Tonight, the war shifts. The enemy tried to hit you in the dark, but God is about to hit the enemy in the open. Now breathe, because I need you to hear this next part as if God himself were whispering it to you. I have seen the hidden arrows. I have heard the silent words. I have watched the traps being built, and now I will dismantle them. You are not fighting a losing battle. You are fighting a battle that heaven already planned to win. And even now, angels are being released. Assignments are being cancelled. Networks of darkness are being scattered. And the justice of God is beginning to rise over you like a new dawn. Tonight, you are stepping out of the role of victim and stepping into the role of warrior. Because God is not only exposing your enemies, He is humiliating them, just like He promised. And before we move to the next block, declare this in the comments with authority. Every trap set against me is destroyed by the justice of God. Say it as a decree. Write it as a weapon. If this message is awakening your spirit for warfare, hit the like button right now so this video reaches other warriors who need it tonight. And subscribe to Guided by Psalms to stay connected with daily prayers of breakthrough and protection. There are battles you see, but the most dangerous ones are the battles that hunt you without being seen. In the physical world, snipers hide. They stay far back in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. In the spiritual realm, it's the same. There are forces, yes, real spiritual forces, that observe you from a distance, waiting to hit you when you're tired, when you're stressed, when your guard is down. Psalm 64 gives them a name. They shoot from ambush at the innocent. They shoot suddenly without fear. That is sniper warfare. Silent attacks, invisible hits, sudden pressure, unexpected heaviness. Have you ever been doing well, feeling strong, moving forward, and suddenly and out of nowhere, something hits you emotionally, mentally, or spiritually? A strange sadness, a wave of fear, a mind filled with doubts, a heaviness that doesn't make sense, a sudden argument, a door that slams shut, an anxiety you didn't have before. That's a spiritual sniper firing. Psalm 35 exposes them even more. Let those who seek my life be disgraced and put to shame. Let those who plot my ruin be turned back in dismay. This is God revealing the assignment behind the attack. There are people and spirits that want to drain your life, your energy, your purpose, and your calling. Not by destroying you in one big attack, but by hitting you little by little over time until you stop moving forward. This is how spiritual snipers work. 1. They wait. They watch your patterns, your emotions, your weaknesses. They wait for the moment your guard softens. 2. They strike suddenly. A thought, a word, a memory, a situation, a message, a person from your past. Suddenly something pierces you, and you don't even know where it came from. 3. They retreat silently. They attack and then disappear. They want you to think the problem is you. They want you to blame yourself. They want you to fight the wrong enemy. But tonight, God is exposing the snipers assigned against your life. Because both Psalm 35 and Psalm 64 have something in common, they reveal the hidden enemy, and they activate the God who strikes back. Psalm 64 says, "But God will shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly they will be struck down." Did you catch that? The enemy shoots from the shadows, but God shoots from heaven. The enemy fires secretly, but God fires publicly. The enemy hits your emotions, but God hits the source of the attack. The enemy tries to weaken you, but God destroys the assignment itself. You have no idea how many attacks missed you this year. How many arrows were fired but never reached you. How many traps were set but you walked right past them. How many words were spoken but never touched your spirit. Do you know why? Because there is a shield around you that you didn't put there. God did. And tonight that shield increases. Listen to this carefully. Some of the pressure you've been feeling lately is not a sign that you're losing. It's a sign that you're becoming dangerous to darkness. When you start getting closer to purpose, when you start healing from wounds, when you start breaking family patterns, when you start awakening spiritually, darkness notices. The snipers get active, but God gets louder. Your warfare isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of movement, and movement terrifies the enemy. Let me tell you something prophetic right now. There are hidden watchers monitoring your progress. There are secret critics hoping to see you fail. There are spiritual observers studying your momentum. And some people, even people close to you, are uncomfortable with the calling on your life. But hear me, they cannot stop what God has started. Psalm 35 says, "May they be like chaff before the wind, with the angel of the Lord driving them away." This means every hidden attacker will be scattered, every sniper loses aim, every jealous eye loses power, every spiritual watcher loses access. God himself becomes the force that redirects every arrow away from you. And there's something else. Psalm 64 gives a prophetic reversal. Their own tongues will ruin them. The same mouths that spoke against you will expose themselves. The same people plotting your downfall will fall into their own trap. The same forces that tried to weaken you will collapse under their own weight. Tonight, God is not just stopping the attack, He is destroying the source. He is cutting off access. He is breaking agreements. He is silencing voices. He is reversing curses. He is blinding every spiritual sniper that was targeting your life. You are walking into a new level of protection, a new level of clarity, a new level of spiritual awareness, a new level of divine justice. And I want you to declare this with authority in the comments. Every spiritual sniper assigned against my life loses power now. Write it like a warrior. Write it like prophecy. Write it like someone who refuses to be hunted in the dark. If this message is opening your eyes to the invisible war around you, tap the like button now so this prayer reaches more people who need deliverance tonight. And subscribe to Guided by Psalms so you never fight these battles alone. There are enemies you can identify, and there are enemies that blend into the background of your life like shadows attached to your footsteps. The second kind is far more dangerous. These are not the people who argue with you openly, not the ones who show jealousy clearly, not the ones who distance themselves when you rise. No, the most toxic enemies are the ones who hide in plain sight. Psalm 64 describes them perfectly. They encourage each other in evil plans. They talk about hiding their snares. They say, "Who will see it?" They assume their intentions will stay invisible. They think their words will never reach you. They believe their attacks will remain secret, but they forget something powerful. God sees everything that was done in the dark, and when the moment is right, He exposes it. Psalm 35 shows how God responds. Let them be put to shame and confusion who plot my hurt. This is not just punishment, this is exposure. Because the greatest weapon the enemy has is secrecy, and the greatest weapon God uses is revelation. And hear this carefully. You are stepping into a season of revelation. Things that never made sense will suddenly become clear. People who acted strange will suddenly make sense. Closed doors will reveal their real reasons. Confusing situations will finally unfold. Invisible resistance will become visible, because God is not letting you move into your next season carrying people, spirits, or influences that were quietly working against you. Let me speak something prophetic into you. You are not losing people. You are losing access to sabotage. You are not losing relationships. You are losing spiritual contamination. You are not being rejected. God is removing wrong voices from your path. Some of the exits in your life were divine protection disguised as disappointment. Some people had to walk away. Some connections had to break. Some environments had to shift. Some alliances had to fall apart because you asked God for victory, but victory requires separation. Psalm 64 says, they plot injustice and say, we have devised a perfect plan, but God will shoot them with His arrows. This is God saying, they planned it carefully, but I will cancel it suddenly. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to respond to every attack. You don't need to confront every person. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You just need to stay aligned with God, because He is doing the exposing for you. Let me tell you something deep. Some of the people who acted like friends were actually monitoring your life. Some who encouraged you were actually intimidated by you. Some who clapped for you were secretly competing with you. Some who prayed for you were quietly hoping your answer wouldn't come before theirs. But God saw every detail, and He's cleaning your circle. He's clearing your atmosphere. He's purifying your environment. He's detoxing your spirit from people who were never meant to carry the weight of your calling. There is a divine separation happening around you, not to isolate you, but to protect you. This is why Psalm 35 is a prayer of warfare and deliverance. Let the angel of the Lord chase them. Not you, not your words, not your strength, the angel of the Lord, the heavenly warrior assigned to your life. Tonight, angels are moving. Assignments are being cancelled, plots are being confronted, agreements are being broken, masks are falling, strategies of darkness are collapsing. You are walking into a new level of clarity, a new level of spiritual sharpness, a new level of discernment, a new level of protection. God is removing what you didn't even know was harming you. This is not loss. This is deliverance. This is not rejection. This is redirection. This is not warfare. This is purification. You are entering a season where God will show you exactly who is for you and who is against you. Some people will reveal themselves through their silence, some through their reactions, some through their sudden distance, some through their discomfort with your progress, some through their inability to celebrate you. That's God showing you the truth. And before we move to the next block, I want you to declare something prophetic and powerful in the comments. God, reveal every enemy hidden around me. This is spiritual warfare. This is how you break the power of secrecy. This is how you align yourself with divine protection. Write in the comments, God, reveal every enemy hidden around me. Your words are a weapon. Use them. And if this message is opening your eyes, hit the like button so more people can step into revelation tonight. Subscribe to Guided by Psalms to stay under this covering of daily prayer and spiritual clarity. Every spiritual battle has a turning point, a moment where what was working against you starts working for you, a moment where the darkness that tried to suppress you becomes the stage for God's glory over your life. Tonight, you are standing exactly at that turning point. Psalm 35 and Psalm 64 are not prayers of survival. They are prayers of reversal. They don't just defend you. They flip the entire spiritual situation upside down. Listen closely. There is a difference between protection and counterattack. Protection keeps you from falling. Counterattack makes the enemy fall instead. Protection shields you. Counterattack exposes them. Protection blocks the arrow. Counterattack destroys the archer. Psalm 35 is a counterattack prayer. Psalm 64 is a reversal decree. When you pray these two psalms together, something powerful happens. The curse returns to the sender. The trap turns back on the planner. The words spoken in darkness bounce back toward the source. The spiritual energy aimed at you collapses on the one who released it. This is not superstition. This is divine justice. Psalm 35 says, "Let the angel of the Lord pursue them." Do you realize what that means? The same spirits that chased you are now being chased. The same arrows that were aimed at you are now redirected. The same traps that were prepared for your downfall are now swallowing the ones who built them. Psalm 64 says, "So they will make their own tongues work against them," meaning the gossip, the lies, the conspiracies, the manipulation, the criticism, the spiritual slander, the curses released through words, all of it collapses under its own weight. The enemy thought he was building a weapon, but God was allowing him to build his own defeat. Let me speak this over your spirit. Nothing formed against you will stand, not because it isn't powerful, but because God is more powerful. You have been walking around feeling targeted, but tonight you are stepping into the place of the protected. You have been feeling drained, but tonight you step into the place of the strengthened. You have been feeling watched, but tonight you step into the place of the covered. You have been feeling spiritually harassed, but tonight you step into the place of the defended. The enemy hoped to weaken your mind, but God is renewing it. The enemy hoped to break your confidence, but God is restoring it. The enemy hoped to surround you with darkness, but God is surrounding you with light. And the moment that light shows up, every hidden evil loses its power. Let me go deeper. There are battles that were inherited, patterns passed through generations, cycles your family never broke, attacks that chased your parents, curses that showed up in your childhood, spiritual shadows that followed you for years. And maybe you've wondered, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep attracting the same kind of attack? Why does the same pattern repeat? Tonight, heaven answers, because you are the one chosen to break it. You are the one chosen to end what started before you were even born. You are the one chosen to flip the direction of your bloodline. You are the one chosen to say, it ends with me. Psalm 35 and Psalm 64 are your tools for that breakthrough. They don't just fight your enemies, they fight the enemies you inherited. They don't just clear your path, they clear your history. They don't just protect your present, they shift your future. And hear me, you are not fighting for yourself. You are fighting for the generations that will come after you. Your victory becomes their protection. Your breakthrough becomes their foundation. Your deliverance becomes their covering. And the moment God reverses the battle, your whole lineage begins to breathe. Tonight, God is not only exposing the attack, He is breaking the pattern. He is severing the chain. He is burning the root. He is silencing the curse. He is reversing the assignment. He is cleansing your atmosphere. He is purifying your spiritual environment. He is closing the door permanently. This is not temporary relief. This is permanent deliverance. This is not a break in the storm. This is the end of the storm. This is not a season of survival. This is a season of victory. Because Psalm 35 ends with this promise, then my soul will rejoice in the Lord and delight in His salvation. Not fear, not confusion, not delay, not weakness, rejoicing, freedom, clarity, strength, breakthrough. This is the shift you step into tonight. And right now, as a prophetic act of faith, I want you to declare something with fire in the comments. God, reverse every curse and break every assignment against my life. Don't just read it. Write it, release it, declare it. This is warfare. Write this in the comments before leaving this block. God, reverse every curse and break every assignment against my life. Your declaration has power in the spiritual realm. And if this message is confirming what you've been feeling, like this video and subscribe to Guided by Psalms. Stay under this covering of daily warfare prayers. There comes a moment in every spiritual battle when human strength is no longer enough. A moment when your prayers have been heard, your tears have been counted, your faith has been tested, and heaven decides to step in. Tonight, you are stepping into that moment. Psalm 35 speaks of one of the most powerful realities in Scripture, angelic intervention. Let the angel of the Lord chase them. Let the angel of the Lord pursue them. These are not metaphors. These are not poetic lines. These are military orders from heaven's throne. When Psalm 35 activates, angels move. When Psalm 64 exposes darkness, angels confront it. And listen, some battles in your life didn't shift because of your strength. They shifted because angels interfered. You didn't survive that season alone. You weren't protected by coincidence. You didn't escape that danger by luck. You didn't overcome that depression by accident. Heaven moved, angels stepped in, God intervened. Right now, even in this moment, angels are positioning themselves around you, not the soft, gentle angels the world imagines, but the warrior angels of Psalm 35, the ones that chase, the ones that pursue, the ones that dismantle, the ones that carry divine orders, the ones that operate with precision, the ones that do not negotiate with darkness. Every time you feel sudden strength, every time you feel peace in the middle of a storm, every time something tells you, keep going, every time a disaster misses you by inches, every time your spirit wakes up in the night and starts praying without you even understanding why, that is angelic activity. Psalm 64 confirms it. But God shoots them with His arrows. Who carries out the arrows of God? His angels. the spiritual snipers that targeted you, the ambushes that tracked you, the traps that followed you, the words that tried to weaken you. Angels are now turning against them. You have no idea how many times the enemy tried to touch you and failed, not because he didn't try, but because angels stood in the way. You would not be alive today without the covering of heaven. You would not be sane today without the intervention of heaven. You would not be standing today without the protection of heaven. And tonight, something powerful is happening. God is increasing your angelic reinforcement. Some angels guard, others fight, others expose, others block, others announce, others remove, others carry messages, others chase darkness away. Psalm 35 speaks specifically of angels who enter the battlefield. These angels are relentless. Once God sends them, they do not stop until the assignment is complete. Let me tell you something prophetic. You are not outnumbered. You are not defenseless. You are not alone in this war. You are surrounded. Psalm 34 says, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." Encamps, meaning they stay, they don't visit, they don't pass by, they stay. Some angels have been assigned to your life since birth. Others have been assigned for this season, and right now God is releasing new ones for the battle you are facing. There is a shift happening in the spiritual atmosphere around you. Something is being rearranged, something is being blocked, something is being revealed, something is being removed, something is being overthrown, because the moment angelic warfare begins, everything moves. And here is the truth: you have been fighting too much in your own strength, carrying too much on your own shoulders, trying to fix things you were never meant to fix, trying to solve battles you were never meant to solve. Tonight, God is telling you, stand still, the battle is mine. The angels of Psalm 35 are stepping into position. The justice of Psalm 64 is being released. The reversal of Psalm 35 is unfolding. The exposure of Psalm 64 is striking. You are standing under an open heaven. And I feel this strongly. Some of you are about to see sudden breakthroughs, sudden clarity, sudden deliverance, sudden favor, sudden peace, sudden restoration, sudden reversal. Not because the battle got easier, but because heaven took over the fight. Right now, I want you to declare something in the comments, not as ritual, not as engagement, but as prophecy. Lord, send your angels to fight for me. This is your alignment with heaven. Your declaration activates what God already planned. Your words open the door for angelic assignment. Write this in the comments with authority. Lord, send your angels to fight for me. Your declaration releases angelic movement. And if this message is strengthening your spirit tonight, like this video and subscribe to Guided by Psalms. Stay under this covering of daily warfare and revelation. Every battle reaches a final moment, a moment where God steps in not just to defend you, but to vindicate you. Tonight is that moment. Everything we've prayed through in Psalm 35 and Psalm 64 leads to this: divine justice. Justice that does not delay. Justice that does not negotiate. Justice that does not miss. Justice that restores everything the enemy tried to steal, block, delay, or destroy. You are not just receiving protection tonight, you are receiving vindication. Psalm 35 ends with a prophetic explosion of victory. And my tongue shall speak of your righteousness and of your praise all the day long. Do you understand what this means? When God finishes the battle, your voice shifts from crying to praising, from begging to thanking, from fighting to resting, from worrying to rejoicing. The war ends in worship. Psalm 64 ends the same way. The righteous will rejoice in the Lord and trust in him, meaning your trust is being rebuilt, your joy is being restored, your peace is being renewed, your spirit is being strengthened, your confidence is being revived. You have been in survival mode for too long. You have been carrying battles you never asked for. You have been waking up tired, sleeping tired, praying tired, and still trying to push forward. But tonight, the weight lifts. Tonight, the cycle breaks. Tonight, the storm ends. Tonight, the warfare flips. Because the God who exposed your enemies in Psalm 64 and the God who fought for you in Psalm 35 is now stepping into the final phase of the battle. Restoration, not survival, restoration. Not damage control, recovery. Not barely making it, overflow. This is what God is releasing over you. 1. Restoration of clarity. Your mind is becoming clear again. Confusion is leaving. Mental fog is breaking. The lies of the enemy are losing their grip. 2. Restoration of strength. Your spirit is rising. Your courage is waking up. Your resilience is returning. The heaviness is lifting off your chest. 3. Restoration of peace. Your sleep will change. Your atmosphere will shift. Your home will feel lighter. Your nights will stop being battles. 4. Restoration of identity. You are remembering who you are. You are remembering what God spoke. You are remembering your calling. You are remembering your spiritual authority. 5. Restoration of destiny. Everything that was delayed is coming back. Everything that was blocked is opening. Everything that was sabotaged is returning. Everything stolen is being restored sevenfold. The enemy tried to delay you, but he couldn't deny you. He tried to slow you, but he couldn't stop you. He tried to confuse you, but he couldn't cancel you. He tried to silence you, but he couldn't mute what God placed inside you. You are stepping out of this battle with more power than you had when you entered it. Listen carefully. There is a reason you survived what others didn't survive. There is a reason you didn't break when everything around you broke. There is a reason you refused to quit when every voice told you to quit. The reason is simple. God kept you alive because your story isn't finished. There is still victory to live. There is still purpose to fulfill. There is still calling to walk in. There is still destiny ahead of you. Psalm 35 says that after the battle, those who favor my righteous cause will shout for joy and be glad. Meaning, God is about to give you a testimony that will silence every critic, shame every enemy, and strengthen every person who believed in you. You will not end this year the same way you started it. You will not end this season the same way you entered it. You will not end this battle in defeat. Your ending is victory. Your ending is justice. Your ending is restoration. Your ending is peace. Because God has the final word. Not the enemy, not the situation, not the past, not the attack, not the fear. God, and God alone, decides the outcome. And tonight, He has spoken. Justice is being released. Now, as a prophetic act of faith, I want you to write this final decree in the comments. God's justice falls on my life tonight. Write it with authority. Write it as warfare. Write it as prophecy. Write it as a seal over this entire video. This is your moment. This is your shift. This is your victory. Before you leave this video, seal this battle with your words and your action. Write in the comments, God's justice falls on my life tonight. This is your spiritual signature over the warfare we fought together. Like this video to push this prayer into more lives who desperately need deliverance tonight. Subscribe to Guided by Psalms to stay under this covering of daily warfare, restoration, and revelation. And don't leave without watching the next video recommended on your screen. That message is the continuation of what God started here.